What's up, YouTube? Today is day number 3 of the $1,000 account challenge, and today we are up $31 in the account, or 2.99%. If you don't know, my name is Gates. I'm taking $1,000, depositing it into a cash account on Thinkorswim, and I am day trading options to see how far we can grow the account. We took 3 trades today. We were green on all 3. One of them should have been more green. One of them was kind of a fluke or an accident trade that I closed out way too early. Did not mean to do that. But we'll talk about it. Everything here, as far as the trades that I take, was detailed in the alert room. All of my trades that I take in this challenge will be detailed in extreme detail as we take the trade in real time. And you're going to get to see an example of that today. So what do we have? Straight off the day trade watch list, which was posted before market open, was Nvidia, short below $460 or the pre-market low. And the reason being is because it was a range breakdown on the daily chart time frame. So if we flip to the daily, we got this range right here that broke down last week. We are just looking for the continuation drop this morning. It was a gap down as well. So all we were doing here, short below 460, all that we were doing here was taking this short below the pre-market lows. So moving to the 1 minute time frame, this opens up and drops from 461 down to 456, $4 to $5 in 2 minutes. That's a fairly aggressive sell. This, to me, serves as enough confirmation to go ahead and take the trade. But we know 2 things to be true, right? According to our rules, number 1, we don't chase moves. Okay, we're not going to chase anything down. And number 2, we're not going to trade in those first 5 minutes. But what we can do, while that is confirming for us, is prep to take the trade, prepare to take the trade within those first 5 minutes. So the very first alert that I send out, 9:32 a.m. this morning, right? 2 minutes as this is selling, 2 minutes after market open. I said it's early, but Nvidia is selling nicely here. And I go ahead and give you the contracts that I'm about to take. I give you the contract code. I say I loaded those contracts to take this short potentially. No position yet, right? So all I'm doing is loading the contracts into my active trader, waiting for this to give us an entry opportunity before I take the position. And then somebody asked, how do you read the contract code? So that's that explaining what that is. If you want to pause and read that, you can. So next mention that I sent out was Nvidia took entry short. So now we're past the first 5 minute threshold, 9:35. Nvidia took entry short. I give you the exact contract code again, right? So just reminding you what it is. I give you my fill price. I give you my stop loss. And then literally 1 minute later, I'm out for a 20% gain. So what happened? Well, we get the rally up, and this is close enough in quotation marks, this is close enough to the trigger level where my amount of risk at the time that I took the trade looks like that versus the amount of reward down to the low of day looks something like that. So again, just visualizing here the risk amount versus the reward amount, it's almost double. The reward amount is almost double than the amount of risk here that's assumed. And that's what we want to look for, right? You want to enter at a price point where the stock kind of must make a directional decision. Either it's going to break down or continue up from the point that you enter and you're green right away and you just manage the trade into profits, or you're going to close the position right away. Right, that's called entering at pivot points. So we take the entry here, literally next minute, 1 minute down into the low of day, I took the exit there. Now, if you miss that entry, you do get another rally back up to this same entry point, right? This same entry area where you can go short here and look for the move even further down into the low of day. Now, why didn't I take that? Because I was already eyeballing my second trade, which was on Uber. And during the consolidation here, I did enter on Uber, so I didn't want to have 2 trades going at once. But Nvidia offered you a second opportunity there to take that short. And then we'll go even further. We're going to say, look, over here, one more, a third opportunity, trading near, rallying all the way back up to that short trigger level before rejecting and moving back down to the low of day. So another third opportunity here on Nvidia to take that short. So 1, 2, 3 potential entries. We took the first one, nabbed a 20% gain on it. Next one that we traded was Uber. Now, this off of the day trade watch list was a long idea above $61 or the pre-market high. This had gapped up this morning on a positive reaction to a news catalyst, which is a fairly significant news catalyst, being added to the S&P. But Uber was showing relative strength, right, at this morning. So a lot of names had gapped down. The overall market SPY had gapped down. Uber was one of those few names that gapped up and has this positive reaction to a news catalyst. So I'm thinking in my mind, hey, maybe this has a good chance to run for a good part of the day, right? Even if, regardless of what everything else is doing. So Uber being a long idea above 61, yeah, we can wait for the break of 61, but the opening consolidation actually gives us a confirmation much earlier than a break of 61. So here's what I saw. Okay, opening consolidation, we'll just draw a box around it. Opening consolidation looks like that, and then we get this candle breaking out top side above that opening consolidation. Okay, candle breaking out top side above that opening consolidation. This is, for me, confirmation that we are breaking the downtrend trend line and moving up. So what we do here is we utilize the price action to identify a potential entry point. If this is going to move up, then old resistance here should validate as new support there. And this is your risk off level, right? Again, I'm giving you this pivot point entry method. If you just study this and apply it every trade that you take, I'm telling you, you are going to be able to minimize your losses so much better than what you probably do now. Because our risk off level here, well, let's just go to the alert room and we'll look at it. So we'll scroll down. Okay, so Uber, 938, loaded this long. I give you the contracts, no position yet. So literally the same thing that I did for you on Nvidia. So we will timestamp that at 937, 938. So after this breaks above and pulls back, right? Like I said, giving you the break of the downtrend trend line break strategy in play here. That's your confirmation that Uber is moving up. Okay, so we're prepping that long as that starts to move. And then 943, Uber took entry long, give you the contracts, give you the fill price, and I said the stop loss is going to be the recent low there at $60. So here's your stop loss there at at $60. So I'm entering at 940. Let's see the timestamp on that. 943. Okay, so I guess this is interesting because I guess the alert might have came out at the switch of the minute. I do remember entering in on this candle here, but maybe the alert didn't come out until the next minute or at the switch of that minute. So closer to the end of this. Either way, look at this risk off amount. Okay, so potential reward here up to $61, which we know to be the pre-market high / resistance. Your potential reward from the entry price looks like that. Your risk, let's just say we entered halfway through this candle. Your risk then looks like that, down to 60. So look at the amount of reward that we could potentially gain from the amount of assumed risk. And look at what Uber does after our entry point. Rallies all the way almost up to $61. Now, what happened here, I fat-fingered my my mouse and accidentally closed the position out early. And, man, that cost me because this would have been like a 30% gain if I had held through. But, yeah, I accidentally closed it out for a 8% gain. So I said, I accidentally closed it. I misclicked there. 70 fill price to 76. I got an 8% gain. So, only had one contract, $6. Tough. That would have been, another $20 gain, and we would have almost doubled the amount of profits that we made last week in one day. So what do we do here? We don't give up on the trade, right? I send out a chart, and I say, Uber, this is your next expected move. So after we close this out, I said, look at this consolidation, potential pullback. We'll look to take it long on the pullback for a rally back up to 61. And what happens? Well, let's just put this side by side. Let's just put these two side by side here. What happens on this? Sent out before the trade even was taken. Look, here's your green candle up, small red candle, green candle, and then I said after this you're going to get a pullback down to, I said close to the previous high, consolidation. We didn't expect the consolidation, but we got the consolidation before the move back up to 61. So, this is pretty much happening exactly as we planned it out. So using the same method that we utilized earlier, old resistance here, right? Remember, old resistance here should become new support there. So that's your risk off level. So again, we take the entry. We'll go to the alert room here. Uber 952 took re-entry. So that's going to be right here. So as we get the pullback, 952, we take the re-entry. The reason why I waited till 952 is because I wanted to see some green here. So we get some green. I'm thinking it's going to rally back up in the high of day, and it doesn't. We get some consolidation, but we do wind up getting the move to high of day, and we closed it out there at about 10 a.m. For a 10% gain. So 92 was the fill price up to 1.02, right? And again, just giving you a fill price, giving you the stop loss at 60.3. So our stop was down to 60.3. So amount of risk versus the amount of reward, again, just working out for you nicely there. And then taking the 10% profit off of the top. I mean, that's 3 for 3 on the day, right? And I don't know how I can make this any easier, though the Uber trade would have required a couple of different things to know so that you could take the entry prior to the trigger level break. But I have taught you all of this stuff before, right? Trendline break strategy. That's what I utilize to take the initial entry. Old resistance becoming new support. Okay. Old resistance again becoming new support. Okay. Selling at the high of day, right? I made podcast episodes on different ways or strategies to close your positions out. And the high of day selling strategy is one of them. Even though, we could have been up 13% here, and I probably still would have taken my profits because we know two things. Well, number one, 61 is a point of resistance. That is a pre-market high. And number two, it's the high of day. Also, that's always going to be a potential point of resistance. And we made the right choice there by closing it out at 10% because this did curl back over and is still selling. So Uber over 61 might be a trade later on, but right now it's not working at this point. But that is how we took the trade prior to getting the trigger level break. So 3 for 3, 20% gain on Nvidia, 8% gain on Uber, which ran over 30%, accidentally stopped myself out early on that, and then a 10% gain on Uber on the re-entry. That gives us a, let's scroll down here, so we're up. That gives us a $31 gain on the $1,000 account challenge. And by the way, special shout out since we're here, special shout out to Sarah, starting the $1,000 account challenge with me, made not only more money than me today, but is up in the account more money than I am overall. It's not really a competition between members, myself, or anybody else. It's only a competition between you and yourself. But this is awesome to see. I love to see the success, and anybody doing better than me, I mean, more power to you, right? I praise you for that. Just make sure that you consider paying yourself on the way up, especially if you've never traded with a certain amount before, or if your account grows to an amount that you've never had it at before. The last thing you want to do is oversize and lose money. Okay, that's it. That's all that I have. So again, if the video has helped you out, press that like button for me. A lot of takeaways from this. Entering at pivot points, I think, being one of the biggest ones. Make sure you review and take notes if you have to. Watch it twice if you have to. Press that like button for me if you haven't done so already. That's the best way to support this type of work that I do. And let's continue on. We're going to keep chugging with this $1,000 account challenge and see how far we can grow it. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.